My name is Maylin Yap, and I got involved in swimming when I was age 5, I think it was. I was a swimmer in special Olympic clubs. Kind of went from there really. I just love competing. I'm a very competitive person. I've been doing it for about 16 years now, I think. And I just love it. I've seen quite a lot of places like South Africa and Taiwan and Portugal and most recently Canada. The other swimmers involved, I don't really consider them as friends really. I think of them as my competitors. I've collected quite a lot of medals throughout the years, even through Special Olympics and with the Irish Down Syndrome Sporting Organisation. Collected so many medals.
My involvement goes back a long way. My eldest child is now 38 and my children learned to swim in Glenalbyn. My daughter Maylin went on also to learn to swim in Glenalbyn, and she was tiny in stature and she had Down syndrome, and I found the coaches were very supportive of her, and when she was ready to move up to another lane, I think it wasn't allowed because she couldn't touch the bottom or something, but the coaches took into account her difficulties and moved her on. I got a coach to draw up a programme and I brought Maylin down to Glenalbyn every single evening to train in that pool, and she wouldn't have achieved what she did had it not been for Glenalbyn.
What was really important in Glenalbyn is whether you were a possible Olympic swimmer, a national swimmer, or just someone who enjoyed the water, you were always welcome in Glenalbyn.
We came down here, to go to lessons and to have fun and stuff. So, swimming was always a big part of our family.
My mum used to go to a health club up the road, so she used to bring me and my brother here to learn, and we were taught how to swim by Freddie, who worked here. She was a tough and formidable woman, but a great swimming instructor. So I can fairly say I wouldn't know how to swim if it wasn't for Glenalbyn Pool.
We did the kids club with Freddie, and she's the name that really stands out for me, and she was fantastic.
I tried harder because the coach was telling us what to do, but if I went on my own, I'm lazy. I would have got out after 5 minutes.
I remember so often teaching adults who would be absolutely terrified of going to the deep end.
I was terrified of the deep end.
I was afraid of two of the coaches. So when they said move your butt, I moved my butt.
The thing they would remember was the first day they swam out at the deep end.
I always saw Glenalbyn as Stillorgan as just being two sides of the same coin.
All my 4 children learned to swim here.
I even went on a date with a girl here when I was 16 or 17, but I'm still friends with her.
It wasn't just all swimming. Swimming was part of it, and a very important part, but not the essential part. And this now is gone. And it's really sad to see it, that there is, no matter how people want it to be reopened, there just doesn't seem to be the willingness to do it. And I think it's a shame.
What do we want? Where do we want it?
Well, I'm Evelyn Byrne and I'm out here today because I've swum twice a week, every week in Glenalbyn for 32 years, at least 32 years. I took my youngest child in the buggy, and it's a way of life for everybody. It keeps us trim, it gives us energy, it's a social thing, and we miss it terribly. I mean, to get up on a Monday and Thursday morning, we're lost after all those years of swimming, and we need a pool here. We need a pool. We'll all end up with dressing gowns on, doing nothing if we don't get out for a swim. And it's a wonderful thing. We just love it. And it's a hell of a shock after 32 years. We came in one morning, they said the pool is closed. That was it. It happened like that.
Gutted, to be honest, that I wasn't able to train there anymore. So I learned to swim there.
Devastated. I think that's the biggest thing. Sadness and devastation. It was something that had taken a long, long time to build. Over the years, the friendships that had been formed, the caring that had been shown to people, it was as if it was all gone. It was never gone for that time, but it was gone for the future years, and has been gone since.
The first thing was it's closing down, and the second was, well, where are my kids going to continue learning to swim with quality coaching?
I don't remember when the swimming pool closed down here at Glenalbyn. I heard about it afterwards, but as soon as I did hear, I was quite horrified.
That day when they came down, they were told there were no lessons. And that was it. Nobody knew that the pool was closing, and the trainers didn't even know.
When I found out Glenalbyn was closing, I thought it was closing for repair. So it was very disappointing to eventually realise that that wasn't what was happening. After various meetings, we were told there was money available, then there was money ring-fenced, and still the problem goes on.
I would ask those who have the power to open it and open it now. Every year that goes by, more people are suffering.
People power can move mountains, but people often don't realise that. But when you get active, when you start to sign petitions, when you organise meetings, when you get out and organise protests, when you campaign on social media, when you put pressure on councillors and politicians.
I learned how to swim in Glenalbyn as an adult. I was terrified of water. Glenalbyn was the first place that I went down. The instructors were fantastic, the staff were fantastic. So it benefits from a 4-year-old to a 94-year-old and beyond.
We went through so many debates in the course of 2014. Eventually the money was ring-fenced. It was going to go ahead. It would definitely go ahead. They were reassured that the 10 million was there for the pool. Boom, it's gone. I am suggesting in my motion that the plan be redrafted and 10 million be found for this project again. In the same way as it was pushed away, now it needs to get pulled back in. And I don't think it's acceptable to the people who have used that pool for years, who care about that pool. And it's not just about Stillorgan. People all across Blackrock and the Dunleary wards have learned to swim in that pool, and I'm sure up in Dundrum as well.
The first step to take is to reclassify or to reinstate the Glenalbyn pool at the position it was in.
That there is almost universal will within this chamber to fix this problem and to reinstate that pool.
What we are tonight, and it's one of those few occasions where this entire chamber is more or less singing from the same hymn sheet, and that we're in agreement that what's happening here is wrong.
You people on that side of the room are supposed to be serving the community. All of us here are supposed to be serving the community. So this should be the priority when those development funds are available. Can we just put a marker on it that this comes first before other needs? Because this is the will of the people, and it would make people cynical and move away from politics.
I can understand the frustration of the members. I can understand how long that it has taken to move this along. But the reality is there is a mediation in course, and there are significant issues with that site.
10 million funding for the redevelopment of Glenalbyn Pool to remain ring-fenced.
Okay, is that agreed? Agreed, okay, great.
No, I know I've already said this, but just to reiterate, we won't be redrafting the capital programme. I accept the motion that it is, and we note it.
Just to clarify, so that means that we as a council agree the motion, and we just have, but the Chief Executive is saying that she won't do it. Just to clarify. Just to clarify.
To clarify that under Section 135, The report is before you for noting tonight.
Yeah. Sorry, the motion calls on the Chief Executive to do something, and she's saying that she won't.
I suppose I'm a natural optimist. I certainly would hope it would be opened again. No, I'm not a pessimist. It will be opened, definitely.